So I had this wild idea that is not original in any sense of the word, but I wanted to try it. And that is comparing the iPhone 13 Pro to a Red Komodo. Because I just want to see how close a phone sensor that just slides in your pocket can get to a fully fledged cinema camera that costs upwards of $10,000. So that's what I did today. So to do this, I filmed the exact same sequence on both cameras. And so that it was exactly the same, I had the phone mounted on my Red rig, so I could just film them both at the exact same time. And I'll play one sequence that was shot on one camera first, and then I'll play the next sequence that was shot on the other camera. And then I want you guys to try and figure out which one was which. So without further ado, here is the video from camera one. So that was the video from camera one. Could you tell which one it is without even seeing the second one? Or are you racking your brain trying to figure out, was that the iPhone or was that the Red? I don't know. Which one could it be? Well, maybe checking out video number 2 will help you out. Now that you have seen both sequences, before I tell you, I want you guys to go down to the comments and let me know which one was camera one and which one was camera two, and let me know why you thought it. I think that's a very important thing to note. Please don't cheat, although most of you are going to. You're just going to scroll 10 seconds further and figure out, oh, that one makes sense. But just try not to cheat. Go down there, let me know which one was which and why you thought that, because I'm very interested to know what gave it away for each camera. And now, without further ado, drum roll please. Camera one was the iPhone 13 Pro, and camera two was the Red Komodo. Did you get it right? Maybe you did. I'll check down there in the comments. We'll see. Honestly, I thought the iPhone got a lot closer to the Red than I thought it would. Although when you see them side by side, it's kind of a dead giveaway which one is which. You can clearly tell which one came from a phone sensor, mainly because Apple likes to just over sharpen the crap out of their images for no reason. Whereas the Red has like a really nice, like smooth fall off. It looks a lot more professional. But honestly, there were a few shots from the iPhone that I thought looked really close to the Red. And I think it is very apparent how close they get under controlled lighting. The depth of field is what kind of gives it away, but sharpness wise, the iPhone's actually a little bit sharper, but I think if you zoom into like 400%, it looks mostly like it's like digital sharpening, as opposed to like the actual sharpness of the sensor. The highlight roll off for me was a pretty big tell as to which camera is which, where like the Red kind of rolls off into the highlights and shadows a lot more gradually, and you still get a lot of detail there. The iPhone kind of has hard cuts wherever the shadows are and where it goes into the highlights. With the iPhone, I just filmed it in its standard profile. I didn't film it in ProRes because I only have the 128 gig one, so I can't film 4K ProRes. So I just filmed in like the standard one and 1080 ProRes. It looks great, but compared to a 6K sensor, it's kind of a dead giveaway. And then I didn't use the cinematic mode for the iPhone either, because as of right now, cinematic mode, it's in its like first stage. It's like when portrait mode was a new thing and it like wasn't that good and it was kind of a gimmick, but like I think in a few generations, cinematic mode's gonna get a lot better than it currently is. Although the HDR processing on the iPhone is pretty incredible, its ability to maintain detail in the shadows and the highlights from such a tiny little sensor, and then just using a bunch of computing power behind that sensor to keep everything looking nice is kind of amazing. And the fact that you have that in your pocket at all times just kind of blows me away. Another thing I noticed difference-wise between the two is the iPhone tries to like punch the saturation on everything just to make it pop, and then makes it obviously pleasing to whoever's filming said video. Whereas the Red is much more like true to life. Although the iPhone clips in the highlights almost instantly whenever you like try and overexpose it slightly. Whereas the Red, since you're filming 16-bit RAW, even if you overexpose it a little bit, you can just change the ISO and then pull back all of that information. Like it's honestly pretty hard to clip. Like you have to try to clip the Red if you're filming in just normal conditions. Honestly, I had a blast filming this little comparison, this little head-to-head, and the fact that you can get a phone so close to like a cinema camera that's used on like Hollywood movies and costs at least 10 times as much when it's rigged out kind of blows my mind. With all that being said, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have ideas for future videos or want to see something specific, let me know down in the comments. I would love to read that. Would love to hear from you guys. I love interacting with you. And I will see you in the next one.